Hello, retirees. Let me level with you. September 30th isn't just another date you flip past on the calendar. For millions of seniors, it's a financial cliff edge. If you're still depending on a paper Social Security check, the government has already made the call. That option disappears at the end of this month. And if you don't take action, your money doesn't disappear, but it gets stuck in limbo for weeks or even months. Picture rent past due, prescriptions sitting at the pharmacy, and your check nowhere to be seen. That's the reality right in front of us. But before we get deeper, let me ask you something quick. Drop your age and your state down in the comments. I want to see who's tuning in and who's planning smarter. Because retirement today isn't about simply reacting. It's about spotting the traps before they snap shut. And trap number one is exactly this: clinging to paper checks in 2025. I get the comfort of walking to the mailbox and holding that slip of security in your hand. But here's the truth: paper checks are from another era. They're 16 times more likely to get stolen or lost. And when that happens, you're not just missing paper, you're missing time, groceries, stability in your budget. The Social Security Administration is steering everyone either to direct deposit through a bank or credit union or onto the Treasury-backed Direct Express card. There aren't other paths left open. Why does this matter? Because delay equals debt. If your benefit doesn't arrive when expected, you end up paying bills with credit, swallowing late fees, maybe even draining what little savings you've protected. And that's not a choice anyone in retirement deserves. The fix is simple. Get electronic payments set up now, not after September 30th. That means confirming your direct deposit with SSA or, if banking isn't possible, requesting the Direct Express card immediately. I've sat across from families who drag their feet, and I can tell you watching a mortgage company tack on hundreds in penalties hurt far more than filling out a few forms early. But that's just the beginning. Because once you've locked down how you're paid, you run straight into the second blind spot. And this one drains more from your pocket than late fees ever will. Once you've handled the payment problem, here comes reality check number 2. The cost of living adjustment, COLA, was meant to keep Social Security checks from being destroyed by inflation. But the official projection for 2026 is only 2.7%. On paper, that looks like a win. Maybe $50 extra a month, maybe $60 depending on your benefit. But here's the ugly side. Medicare Part B premiums are climbing more than twice that fast, projected at over 11%. Translation: half your so-called raise disappears before you ever touch it. That's the trap. Politicians can stand at a podium and brag seniors are getting a bump, but in real terms, it's like giving you $50 and instantly snatching $27 back. Seniors everywhere tell me they're canceling cable, splitting pills, even skipping meals. A COLA increase erased by health costs is not a raise. It's a shell trick. So what's the fix? Awareness and planning. Too many retirees treat Medicare like a set-it-and-forget-it program. 9 out of 10 are in the wrong plan for their needs, paying more than they should. You've got the legal right to review and change coverage every year, and those who do often save thousands. You can't stop Washington from shrinking COLA, but you can stop Medicare from swallowing a raise whole. And that brings us to the next curveball: retirement age. For anyone born after 1960, full retirement is now 67. No rollback, no exceptions. For decades, they crept it up slowly. Now the line is drawn. That means 2 more years of work or 2 more years of reduced checks if you claim early. Why does it matter? Because the math is unforgiving. Claiming at 62 slashes your benefit by roughly 30%. And for many households, that difference is the line between comfortably paying for prescriptions or deciding which ones to skip. The strategy is to treat your claiming age not as a guess, but as the single biggest financial choice in your retirement. If you're healthy and married, waiting can add hundreds of thousands in lifetime benefits. But for those with health struggles or no savings buffer, waiting may not be realistic. Planning around that 67 marker is critical because Washington already moved the bar, and expecting them to move it back is like waiting for gas to suddenly cost $1 again. It's not happening. But compared to changes in how earnings are taxed, that's only the surface. In 2026, the wage base climbs again, which means more of every paycheck gets pulled into Social Security taxes. In plain language, the wage base rises from around $176,000 to $183,600. That 6.2% bite never feels small. For higher earners still working in their 60s, it's not spare change, it's thousands drained before retirement even begins. And here's the part nobody likes hearing. If you're still working while collecting early benefits, the earnings test smacks you hard. Go past $24,260 in 2026, and the government claws back $1 for every $2 above it. You're not only paying taxes, you're paying with your benefits too. Why is this so important? Because many retirees don't fully stop working. They take part-time jobs to cover groceries, gas, or help grandkids with school. But the system punishes that choice, clawing back what you've already earned. The result? You work harder, but your net benefit shrinks. The smart play? If you plan to work in retirement, map your income carefully. In many cases, delaying Social Security entirely until your wages drop makes more sense than losing benefits in the earnings trap. I've run scenarios where waiting 2 years saved families $40,000 in clawbacks. Work shouldn't be punished, but until lawmakers rewrite the rules, you've got to be strategic. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the trust fund. For years, they said it was safe until 2035. The newest numbers pull that cliff 3 years closer to 2032, just 7 years away. If nothing changes, across the board cuts of 20 to 25% hit automatically. Picture a $2,000 check instantly dropping to $1,500, or someone surviving on $1,000 a month being cut to $750 or $800. That's not theory. That's real people choosing between food, medicine, and electricity. So what's the plan? Stay alert, stay vocal, and don't just assume Congress will fix it. Every idea floated, raising the retirement age again, shrinking COLA, taxing more wages lands hardest on retirees. The only real defense is not depending on Social Security alone. Treat it like one leg of the stool, not the whole chair. And if that sounds heavy, it should. Because the hidden cost of retirement isn't only Social Security math, it's healthcare. And that's where the numbers get brutal. Over a full retirement, the average couple spends more on medical bills than they ever receive in Social Security benefits. Think about that. Decades of paying into the system, and the cost of staying alive outruns the very check that was supposed to support you. Medicare premiums, supplemental coverage, prescriptions, it piles into hundreds of thousands over time. And while COLA increases make headlines, they're swallowed whole by those medical bills before you feel relief. Why does it matter? Because once healthcare eats your budget, everything else becomes optional. Groceries shrink, heat gets dialed down, vacations disappear. I've met retirees rationing blood pressure pills or skipping insulin doses. That's not just a money problem. That's life or death. The only way forward is proactive planning. Review coverage every year. Don't assume what fit at 65 is still right at 75. And know this, 9 in 10 retirees are in the wrong Medicare plan, overpaying or undercovered. Here, knowledge isn't power, it's survival. And even Medicare isn't the final red flag, because looming over everything is the political battle that shapes it all.